Hey guys, so for our reading mini lesson today, we are going to be talking about text structures. So we're actually going to be talking about this for this week and next week. So text structures, guys, is part of our nonfiction, which is our informational text. And so let's talk about what is text structure. So text structures are used in nonfiction writing, so information writing. And text structure refers to how the author organizes the information he or she wishes to present. So, guys, it's how they're writing either their book or their passage or their, whatever piece of writing that they are writing. So, it's how they organize it, the structure of it, okay? And so, let's talk about why is text structure important. So, it's understanding how information is organized helps us comprehend what we read. So when we understand how the information we are reading is organized, it's going to help us comprehend better. So let's think about when we talk about comprehending what we're reading, that means understanding what we're reading. So if someone was to ask you, hey, you just finished reading this article about let's just say football. What was it about? You're able to tell them what it was about because you comprehend what you're reading. And depending on the text structure, it's going to help you understand and give that person that information that they're looking for. So, another reason why text structure is important because authors use text structure to organize their informational writing to help readers learn and retain what they have read. Okay, so it is a tool that readers use to help learn and retain what they have read. So, guys, retain means to kind of help them. So what it means to retain information, it kind of helps them to like hold on to that information, for them to remember that information for later on, whether you are telling somebody what you just read, or maybe you're taking a test and you need to answer some questions. It's going to help you understand it better so you're able to retain it. Okay, so there are 5 different types of text structures that we are going to be looking over. So we have description, sequence, compare and contrast, cause and effect, problem, and solution. So we are going to first, we're going to look at description. So we're going to go over one of these each day. So there's 5, so it'll take us 5 days. So we'll have start this week and then in part of next week. And so, guys, our purpose for these mini lessons this week is to be able to decide what we're reading, to decide which text structure the passage that we're reading. So when you do come to a book, you can say, man, this book is one of these 5 text structures that we have learned about. Okay, so we're going to start with description. So that is our very first one. So I want you to think about, what do you think the word description means? I want you to think about that for a minute. What does the word description mean to you? Okay, so guys, description, kind of break it apart. So description, part of that word is descript. So think about the word describe. Okay, so it's going to be kind of describing something. So description text structure provides details or characteristics about a topic. So when you're reading, ask yourself, is this describing something? Okay, so if you are reading a book or a passage, if it's first off, it has to be an informational text, okay? So, and if you're reading this informational text and you're thinking to myself, man, this really is describing something. It's telling me all the details. It's describing characteristics about it. That is a descriptive text structure. And some signal words, like kind of helping words that you'll find in a descriptive passage, text, whatever you're reading, some of these words you're going to find. For instance, for example, in addition, to illustrate, moreover, another, furthermore, to, also, or also to, most importantly, in fact. So these are some words that you are going to come across in the text structure for description. So let's actually look at an example of what a passage would look like if it's a descriptive text structure. So you will have a handout in your packets that says example description passages, and we are actually going to read one of those together and kind of look over it, and then you'll have one that you're going to read and do something with it for me. Okay. Hey guys, so now we're going to look at the description example passage. So you will need this page that says Reading Wednesday, and make sure you're on this side where it says description. Here is our signal words to help us figure out if what we are reading is a description text structure. And so this is kind of a graphic organizer. So remember, a description text structure is where they're describing the topic. So our topic would be in the middle, and then you have all these details about your topic. So we're going to turn it over, and we're going to read the passage on the left side. Okay. So we're going to read the passage on the left side, and it's going to be over baseball. So let's kind of see what it's talking about. There are 9 players on the field during a baseball game who try to prevent the other team from scoring points. To begin, the pitcher stands on a mound in the middle of the infield and pitches the ball to the hitter. The catcher is often found crouching behind home plate, catching the pitches that pass by the hitter. Furthermore, there are players assigned to cover each of the bases, first base, second base, and third base. One additional infielder player, the shortstop, stands between second and third. There are also 3 players who stand in the outfield, ready to catch a ball that is blasted far out to them. One player covers the right side of the outfield, another player covers the left side of the outfield, a final player covers the center section of the outfield. All 9 players on a baseball team are very important. Okay, so that is an example of a description text structure. So what we're going to do is it wants us to highlight or circle any signal words you read. Okay, so if you have a highlighter, you may get one. If not, just use your pencil to circle. And so remember, our signal words are going to be for instance, for example, in addition, to illustrate, moreover, another, furthermore, to, and also. So let's see if we can find any of those signal words in our passage, okay? So we have in the second paragraph, we have furthermore. So it's saying there's more information to talk about. We have the word also. Okay, so those are 2. Now that we highlighted or circled the signal words that we were able to find, it wants us to describe what makes this a passage about. What makes this a passage with a description structure? So what makes this a description structure text or text structure? So first off, let's think about what is the passage about? What is the topic? Okay, so what is the topic of the passage? I want you to think about that. Okay, so the topic of our passage, so the topic of this passage or paragraph is the various, and guys, the word various means different. The various positions that can be played on a baseball field. Okay, so write that down. Remember, guys, you can stop the video at any time to copy anything down that I'm writing. So the topic of this paragraph is the various positions that can be played on a baseball field. So they're talking about the different positions. So The reason that this is a description text structure is because it's describing each position by telling where each player can be found on the field. So it's telling us the different positions and where they're at on the field. Okay, so we're going to write that into a sentence. The author describes each position by telling where each player can be found on the field. I know that's a lot to write, guys. Okay. So the topic of each paragraph is the various positions that can be played on a baseball field, and the author describes each position by telling where each player can be found on the field. This is why this is a description text structure. It's because it's describing the different positions and where we find them on the field. All right, so remember, at any time you can pause to copy what I have. Okay, so your job is, guys, now it's your turn. So I want you to read this passage over here, and this is and I want you to do just like we did. I want you to highlight any signal words that you read, and you can find the signal words right here. Highlight them or circle them, and then just like we did over here, I want you to describe below what makes this a passage with a description structure. So just kind of like I explained it over here. Why is this a description text structure? What makes it that? Okay. All right, guys.